I don't like it at all, I've got to say. It's Seraphine TK bot, right? Like, where's the damage in this team? Who's killing Ornn? I think that, yes, like, Sivir is relatively low range, and there is a world in which, you know, the Swain pick can really work out. But in my mind, the Swain comes in, you pop Sivir ult, you disengage, you use even the hostile takeover there for a disengage, the Swain ult expires, and then what do you have, right? Like, all your physical damage is basically the Aatrox, maybe a bit coming through from Inspired. It feels very heavily magic damage and very low DPS for an EG comp. Like, I favor this TSM comp so heavily.
I think the thing that EG is thinking is most of these games have had a massive play that swung one team's way. Remember, there was also the TSM game where they tried to make a dive and it got turned around by EG. Yeah, 3 kills right away in the bot lane. I think EG's saying, we need the backbreaking play that seems to be happening in these games in the first 10 minutes on our side. And then if you get that, if you head into like one item dragon fights, I do think EG's comp should be stronger at that range of the game from 15 to 20-ish minutes. So if you think we can make a big play happen and then just snowball from there, that's kind of what they're banking on. Because I absolutely agree, come mid to late game, the damage available for the side of TSM, as well as just having a really strong front line in Ornn that doesn't easily punch through, is a big issue.
And their engage is so bad, right? So it's like, how do you even get to the Sivir? This isn't like game 1 where they had a Rakan who can go for these big flank angles.
Sure.
Really, all you have is the Aatrox coming in on a flank, potentially a pillar from Trundle.
TK
like,
tunnel.
Right? Like, that's not going to work at all into a Renata here and a Sivir with spell shield. So I think it's going to be, you know, a tough one for EG, but they're putting their year on the line with this draft. It's very atypical for the kind of stuff that they do run. That being said, if these kind of comps get ahead, as you're saying, they really can snowball. If you have Seraphine and Swain playing from ahead of the game, on the other side, it can be very, very difficult to actually burst them down.
Let's do it. Game 5 here in this elimination series. Teleport advantage to the side of EG, who are running that on Danny Seraphine versus the Ghost of Tactical Sivir. Summoner spellbooks available for both of our mid lane champions this time around. Spica on the Xin Zhao having an awesome performance in the previous game. I got a lot of focus on both junglers throughout this entire series, and now especially here in Game 5. I think the diff in this game could come down to which one of them is able to get their team going.
It does feel like the junglers have been the engine for all the plays in kind of deciding who wins the game, and having such a good performance on the Xin in Game 4, I think Spica's like, give that to me again. I felt good. I have carry potential. I can pick my fights. I can go flashing in. You saw him do that. Obviously, he ends up dying at the end of it, but then kept going for aggressive plays, and he wants to have the ball in his hands and not just playing setup, where Inspired has said, I have faith in my teammates here. I'll play Trundle, and I'm going to set my team up for success.
And I'm interested to see what kind of a build it's going to be from Trundle. Like, I feel like it's going to be Divine Sunder. It's actually going to be damage build here, because I do think, you know, they are very light on physical damage. Like, yeah, there's an Aatrox, but, you know, it is Swain and Seraphine. They do have a significant amount of damage, but, like, they're not tank killers, right? So it's going to be really interesting. I believe this is the first Swain we've seen from JoJo. So it will be interesting to see how practiced he is on it. Because you have to pilot this champion well. It does take some time to really get used to the never move and how the casting paradigm works with that, the timing on the W after it, really making sure that you're on point with the champion. When Maple was piloting it, and it's a champion we've seen Maple play, you know, both in pro, but also a tremendous amount in Champions queue, he did look really, really good and was finding so many key never moves onto Danny.
Okay, take a look at all 3 lanes at the same time. You can see Evil Geniuses has control in all of them. They're shoving those waves up. They've already got it crashed in mid, but of course the minions have less of a space to move there, so both side lanes going to be crashing into those turrets here pretty soon as well. You can still see the minimap in the bottom right there. Where are our junglers at? Inspired clearing out his own chicken camp. We'll have to keep eyes on where Spica wants to go nice and early. Remember those early Xin Zhao ganks, what this champion is known for, as bottom side tactical. Takes a little bit of damage, as Inspired pass right through mid, unconcerned about whether or not they see him.
You can see that they have push in all 3 lanes. This is one advantage that the draft is going to have. They have JoJo getting the path for Inspired to cut topside. You saw it, Impact pushing in, bot lane pushing in as well. It gives him not just an option of where he might want to gank, but also should he start contesting Scuttle Crabs, actually 1v1ing Spica. Trundle can actually win some of those if he's able to get on top of people and really mash them up with the Q. Attack speed buff as well with W.
Yeah, and Xin does have a lot faster clear. He does get spotted by that. He was actually going to look for a mid gank when Inspired went towards top, but he does get spotted. So he's going to cross down towards bot, knowing that top is pushed in. I don't think the Seraphine and TK are going to be able to actually move up and stop him, but they are moving up, so they do want to try to get this play to happen.
They're going after it. Maple hit the charm, but Jojo threw the never move at Spica instead, so he wasn't able to follow up and jump in on the Swain that could have been vulnerable. And now, because the bottom lane roamed first, Inspired can just walk on through and get a double crab.
Yeah, and this is the advantage, right, that they're actually getting. They have that triple pushing lane, so is going to mean double scuttle here for Inspired. It's not Spica out to at least an early lead.
Yeah, and it was nice on the charm, making sure that he couldn't get the yoink back in the 12 flat health. These mini wins, man, you got to take them all in game 5.
Alrighty, boys. Very, very, very slight gold lead for the side of Evil Geniuses. Mostly just going to be the state of whose wave still needs to be farmed up, still needs to be cleared out. You can see a ton of minions here in mid. That's the second time Jojo has tried to use the Swain W to secure one of these minions and not have the timing exact, so that's a little bit of what you're talking about. You got to get used to it.
The W actually does so little damage in the early stages. It's really easy to mess that up, and it is important. It is important, unironically. I know Mark is obviously joking around a little bit, to actually farm up the HP, right? Because you do have to have enough flat HP. Generally, you're rushing Leandries, which, you know, you're not building a lot of health early on or anything, so that's where it comes from, and so far he has 0 souls. He hasn't been able to actually land anything.
Yeah, it's a huge part of the kit. As well as the fact that you talk about the takeaway potentially as well. I can see the idea of the Swain pick, but like you said, he has 1 game on it this split. Can't remember which one that was, so he has some practice on it at least, but maybe it's been a while since he's had to lock it in.
He scares him away. Oh, okay, there we go. There's the yoink for the HP. Jojo is on the board. 12 health, farmed up. All right, now he walks it back to mid. Got to catch the wave here. He was able to take away a couple of those small chickens that Spica tried to steal. The large chicken was not smited away. That's still alive. Inspired's moving up to clear that out. Checking up on things here in top side. Pretty expected, pretty standard here between the Aatrox and the Ornn. Solo's Ornn has been such a problem for EG every game that it's been in.
Yeah.
He causes havoc. He survives lane phase with an incredible amount of grace, and then always has an important role to play in the team fight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, really the only game we saw that tank get punished was when it was actually the Scion, right? You know, we think back to that Scion game, and it was a huge top diff that was actually created, but on the Ornn, he has just been bulletproof. They have not really been able to make much of anything happen. Speak it down towards bot side, will clear this ward out, but they see him pathing back up. So likely going to be starting the Dragon here, or at least that's what Inspired is expecting. So we'll see if he actually does ward over. Now they know that it has started up. Jojo on the move here, does have level 6 on the Swain, so there is a possibility that EG go for it.
Jojo gets charmed as they walk forward, but the Drake's at 1500. We might just get ourselves a nice smite fight here really early. Jojo picking up a couple of honey fruits. Drake at 13. TSM's taking it low. EG still ready to contest it here a little bit further. 1000 HP. All right, the Drake is mad. He's going home. EG marching forward. Not going to find a route there from the Seraphine. Remember, this is so early. In terms of level 6, it's only Jojo and Maple that have ultis available here for this fight. The Scuttle Crab playing for EG over there among their players. That means that's going to be secured by their side. Extra vision, extra control over the river. Ultimately, it settles with nobody taking the Drake.
Such a tense standoff for Dragon there. TSM starting it up, seeing what EG do. The contest came in, they landed some CC on Jojo, but there were only 6s for the mid laner. And I can understand TSM being scared about jumping onto a Swain, not having the damage to punch through him. That ult comes through, and then he just heals up off your entire team. So I kind of like TSM starting it, and then also giving the respect to the Swain at 6 that they had.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Tactile was literally on Cullen a longsword, right?
Yeah.
It's not exactly like you're going to be bringing the heat with that sort of item build.
And Jojo also had swapped out the teleport for a heal himself. He's ready to juice up that pseudo-survivability with everything possible. So neither side willing to essentially just flip the entire early game off of a Drake fight.
Well, and that's one of the things that it's like, if this is game 1 of a series,
you do that.
Maybe they just scrap,
yeah.
right? But this is game 5. Both the teams now, you're going to be sweating. You're going to know one bad fight decides the game. One bad fight could decide your year. You could be done.
Yeah, you're sitting at home as opposed to playing on Sunday trying to get a world spot. That is what this final 30-ish minutes of League of Legends is going to come down to. Someone's year will be over at the end of it.
And for Evil Geniuses, winning spring, being the MSI rep, coming back 15-3 in summer, to lose to the 7th seed would be an absolute tragedy. Almost as much of a tragedy as this pause.
But not quite as much.
Not quite as much.
Tactical, though, you know, it's an amazing story for him, right? You know, you look over at the other side for TSM and the development that they've had, right? You Tactical obviously getting subbed out, Instinct playing with them for, I believe it was 6 weeks, then Tactical coming back in their first playoff series, kind of getting to be the big hero there. This team, was almost at a 50-50 record, with Instinct once Solo came in. With Tactical, they're looking so much better than their 7th seed.
It does speak to the fact that this is on paper a 7th seed, not in actuality. This team is much better than their placement show, because there have been so many other factors that contributed to that placement. This squad has, we talked about, a ton of veteran experience, a ton of people who can take over games, and it is not at all indicative of just being that 7th seed. And you can just see it in their play, how aggressive they've been, going toe-to-toe with EG, even when they pick the scaling comps, never backing down really away from when they thought they could take their moments.
Well, EG sees a moment to be able to secure this Rift Herald up here on the top side. Maple forced to flash away there as Vulcan and JoJo nearly set up a CC chain on him. And now right as the Ahri dashes back in, another pause.
Yeah, it is the flash as well as the Ahri ultimate forced out there. So a nice never move into the Abyssal dive from Tahm Kench. Able to get those resources out of the way. But so far, so good for Maple. There's some CS to actually pick up here for JoJo, but he is out to an 11 CS lead with about 4 or 5 extra there to farm for JoJo. So
It's
doing pretty well. And likewise, up on top side, Impact is opening up an advantage there over the Ornn.
Will be very important for the solo laners of EG to find some gold lead. Overall, right now, it's about 5,000 gold in their favor, 500 gold up, mostly off the back of top lane. And Impact is someone who has been hit or miss, it feels like, so far in playoffs. Fudge got the best of him. Obviously, he's had some games where he's had the counter pick on solo, able to beat him up a little bit, but not always getting enough of a lead to actually take over the game. And those Ornns coming in late, they get the masterwork items. It's been huge.
I am honestly so surprised that Ornn made it through the first ban phase. I am incredibly surprised that Ornn made it through, because I feel like when I'm thinking of the picks that have really led to those TSM wins, it's Ornn and Azir.
Yeah.
And so the fact that they made it through, obviously EG has a bit of a different read than that. They're saying, no, we can survive the Ornn. That's not the key issue. But hey, Solo has shown up time and again.
And it's interesting, right? Because, Tactical obviously keeps getting the Sivir. I think EG is a little bit nervous to actually just first pick the Sivir because they're potentially worried about, a Draven counter pick, something like that, which Tactical is known for those aggressive early picks.
Yeah.
So I think that is kind of blocking the Sivir pick here a little bit early on. And then when they go Seraphine, I think they're not comfortable to take the Ornn, worrying that their damage profile is going to be actually too low, right? They're not going to have enough damage in the tank.
And even the Sivir for Tactical has been really good for the entire team comp, because when they get super far ahead, it's often Spica or Maple or something like that. And in this previous game, he built Mortal Reminder Rush second to stop the Seraphine healing, as well as all those soul laners who have a lot of healing. And I assume he's going to do the same thing this game around.
Yeah.
The nice thing about that is with the Ornn in your back pocket, you're able to get the Masterwork item. And it's obviously not the same damage as if you had PD second, which is usually what you see Sivers go. But at the same time, you're
to everybody. But we're back into the game now. We have Rift Herald in the pocket of Inspired, who'll have the full timer to use that. But TSM, seeing that their opponents were on that top side objective, have now moved on to the bottom side objective. They'll look to take the Drake. EG are not nearby to contest this time.
We'll have to see where they want to drop that. Rift Herald does feel like top lane is a potential area to get blown open here already, coming up to a 20 CS lead for Impact. Solo has not gotten the attention he sometimes gets from his teammates. We talked about how you can play around Solo. He does often have great gank setup, but it feels like more of the focus has gone to the bot and mid so far.
Yeah, absolutely. It'll be interesting to see if he actually finishes this recall. He's going to. He has no TP, so if Impact gets a whiff of the fact that he did go back to base, he's going to hard shove. It's not a cannon wave, so he will, at the very least, lose some minions. There is still a full wave for Impact to actually shove out, but I'm expecting him to lose a couple. He'll be able to collect most of it. Solo, really on point generally with his base timings. It's going to be probably like 4 minions, I would guess, that he loses. There's 2, maybe going to be able to pick up that last one here and only lose the 3. So pretty good timing on the base, but it does mean he's going to be down, even after picking this up, a good like 24, 25 CS.
And then Impact just waiting on him. Jumps right back out of the brush, hits the chains, plus all 3 Qs, including autos weaved between them. That's half your health.
Half his health gone as soon as he's back in the lane. Already has to start chugging his refillable pot. Also couldn't get a grass proc off during that time. Didn't have time to charge it up, so really clean trade by Impact.
Oh, but Spica actually ghosting him here, and they do have the Ornn ulti available. Not going to go for it, though. Now they see Trundle on bottom side, but still Spica heading back down to actually just do the Krugs. They're going to drop the Herald, and this should be a full tower because Trundle crushes towers about as fast as any jungler in the game. The Q damage works on it, the W attack speed works on it, the auto attack reset works on it, so that tower is toast.
And that is one of the advantages EG's comp had, the 3 pushing lanes. They were able to get pressure up on the top side, make Spica have to kind of react to Impact just winning that lane, and it allows Inspired to go to the weak side of the map, drop that Herald down, and now balloon the gold lead very quickly.
Absolutely, and this is actually a significant gold lead even just individually if they're for Inspired, who is up about 500 in that jungle matchup, is going to be going the expected Divine Sunderer build.
Yep.
You are a bit lower on physical damage in this comp. It is really just impact, so you don't want to be just going for a full tank build or anything like that. I'll be interested to see where he goes after Sunderer. Generally, it is tank. But in some situations, people are still comfortable, especially with an Ornn on the other team, an Enchanter behind you, to go very heavily into damage.
It'll be fun to track as the game moves forward. But as the clock keeps ticking, we're 2.5 minutes away from the next Drake. TSM got that first one. That was the essentially trade that was made for that Rift Herald that just claimed first turret.
It's a willing giveaway, though, by EG. We were talking about how once the first item power spikes start coming in, which is around the point that we're at, it's very unlikely that TSM do actually take a fight. So we see Maple maybe in a bit of trouble here.
Maple's trying to get away. They at least want to force him to use the ulti to get out of this. Never Move is going to do it. Maple ults out, stays alive.
And Jojo P has actually forced Maple's flash twice in a row now. There was one on the tail end of that Rift Herald that they dropped. You saw it kind of combo together with Tom Kench, forcing the flash out. Didn't see the setup on that one, but again, getting the flash out from Maple and really stopping him from having any sort of playmaking. That was what felt like the bridge that their TSM was hoping for to get through the mid game, was a Xin Ahri combination, maybe trying to make some things happen, but Jojo standing tough in the mid lane.
Yeah, going pretty well so far. Vulcan going to be trying to zone tactical out from there. EG opening up a nice little lead here, but it has been the quietest early game, it feels like, of the series thus far. 12.5 in, no first blood claimed. Teams, I think, somewhat hesitant to really hard commit to one of these fights here, knowing how much is riding on this series. But the lead does feel like the biggest impact has been able to open up against an Ornn. He did create an advantage. I want to say it was back in, was game 1 or game 2? But then there was the play where he actually roamed he roamed down for Dragon. And Solo was able to not match the roam, pick up some farm, pick up some plates, and actually equalize there. So it'll be interesting to see if Impact can actually maintain the advantage and potentially even expand on it here.
I mean, if there's ever a game to build your biggest lead of the series, it's the one where you're the only AD threat, right? It's the one where there's so much extra weight on your shoulders to carry that damage profile forward and be able to crack through these health bars, be able to get past the Xin Zhao and the Ornn, even just blowing up anybody you can find. Oh man, I cannot wait until we get our first big fight. I feel like it's gonna tell us so much.
Yeah, I feel like a lot of people are hearing about the scaling advantage that TSM has. That means that EG should, in theory, be the one really pushing the pace of the game, but this is not necessarily a game you need to blow open with like a massive gank or team fight. I actually think the pace that they're on right now has looked pretty good.
Whoa. Maple's got the ulti ready to go yet again. EG looking for him, but Ahri is so slippery. They don't have the hard CC with these champs to lock her down long enough.
And also, it's not like TSM has any sort of crazy late game comp, right? This is not an Azir in the mid lane, it's an Ahri, right? And that does make a very big difference. Gonna see if they can potentially force any sort of a response here from TSM. Pushing them out. The Ahri ult is on cooldown. He does have TP, but he's pushing topside, so EG will go for the Dragon here, and it's just going to be a response of potentially that top lane turret for the Ahri. We'll have to see if the wave is actually big enough for him to be able to take it.
Solo again in Impact sights. There's the long-range W coming out from Jojo. Solo wants to get away from it. Q1, Q2 finds knockup, Q3 goes for it. Spica was ready to come in there and try to help, but the flash out from Solo keeps him safe. Meanwhile, Inspired just taking the opportunity to clear out this Drake. Doesn't even need to worry about the ward. Spica caught out at his own wolves, gobbled up by the Kench, spit back into the W. The TSM jungler will be caught for first blood.
Spica trying to find a camp on his bot side of the map where EG had committed all their people down for Dragon, giving up first blood there.
And that's actually a really big deal. Gives up first blood, they give up the Dragon, and they could potentially actually utilize this base and then head straight out for the topside Herald, try to grab another objective off the back end of this play. because Spica will still be dead. So here it is one more time. Gets locked up by the Nevermood. He is spotted. Vulcan's just into the pit and then just uses the ulti to reposition him. And once you get dragged back, there is really no way out.
I actually think, I said he was getting for camps. I think he was actually trying to collapse onto the Ornn, who was starting to get picked off. And then it was just a clever turnaround by JoJo to land that Nevermove on him, pull him back, and force him into a position where the rest of EG could collapse. So nice redirect by JoJo to find him out instead. This does feel like TSM are riding the line. The fact that they could get that gold injection from the first turret was pretty huge.
Yeah, and we may actually see a fight here around this Herald. TSM is out on the map, potentially looking to contest this, but EG will just reset it for now. Teleport's coming through here.
With the teleport coming in, I expect something. At minimum, a Herald take, at most, a massive fight. Looking at ulti timers, Vulcan still does not have the Devour ready to go. Spica, however, Crescent Guard locked and loaded. That one's back up and recharged. EG, 5-man effort. Moving
Solo
into the pits. They're after the Herald. A TP's coming in. Maple separated from the rest of the team. Now JoJo's gonna get jumped on. Spica's ready to go in and fight, but is it the fight he wants? The Ornn horn sounds off, and JoJo uses stopwatch to stay alive. Inspired, gonna be eating some damage now as well, as EG is still hanging around with a Herald that's got 2,000 HP. They don't want to pop the eye. They don't want to risk giving this away, but TSM have control over it now. Maple goes back over the wall. They try to use the hostile takeover. They won't find any targets, but they will find the Herald. TSM win that scrap.
TSM come out big there. They get the Herald. They can even drop it mid here and maybe just knock down this tower. It's already fairly low. And this was kind of my concerns for EG's comp exemplified, where it's so easy to actually kite out on that Swain ultimate. They kite out the Swain ult, they kite out the Aatrox ult, then EG have no real way to actually lock them in and start up that fight. TSM take the Herald, force out summoners. They're looking good.
Yeah, no kills, but a massive advantage for TSM garnered there. And Maple as well on the backside of that fight, just making it so uncomfortable for EG, where if they try and charge forward, you might open up an angle for Maple to get on top of Danny. And so while Impact was marking him for the entire time of that fight, that pulled enough attention away that JoJo could get jumped on. He feels a little threatened that he has to pop his ultimate here. And like you said, Azael, they just disengage. They see it go in, he has to pop his Zhonya's there, stopwatch, excuse me, to make sure he doesn't get blown up. And then you're just waiting for it to time out. And once it's gone, there's not really that much threat left.
Exactly. And you look at Aatrox at the top of your screen, you know, his ulti is going to expire. He gets kited out on the other side. This is part of the problem. If you don't have dive buddies, if you don't have that lockdown for the Swain, you know, they're just going to pop the Sivir ult. They're going to actually kite it back. Chime flashing in, looking for that hostile takeover, does buy the space, forces out the flash as well from multiple members there, it looks like. You know, JoJo, Inspired, and Vulcan all using their flashes in that fight. TSM going to be really happy with how that went, and I think going to be gaining confidence in how these future fights will also go.
Yeah, this is such a tense game. We're talking about how much of an advantage does EG really need. It's not totally out of the ballpark yet. We're still in that one item power spike. You think you'll probably have this advantage for them for the next couple of minutes. You can even give away the second dragon though for TSM. That's the problem. The fact that they got the first one away denied the stacking from EG, which gives them this kind of breathing room from this position to go, if we don't like the look of the next fight, we can sack it and just keep scaling.
Exactly. And I mean, they grab the second Herald, which makes it even better. They've actually knocked down that mid lane tower. You know, they're up a tower. They're equal on dragons. The gold lead is nothing. Ornn is about to have, you know, his mythic upgraded here as well. So TSM going to be loving their position. And EG's comp is very light on playmaking. There's not a lot of explosive engage. There's not a lot of X factors here that are really going to turn the tables beside potential flanks. And that's what they're going to be relying on, because you look at Tactical, he doesn't even need to play Cleanse. There's not that much CC. He's basically just looking out for Danny's ultimate and
Spell
staying
shield.
out of range of the Nevermove. Exactly. You spell shield that, you kite it back out with the Ghost and the Sivir ult. What do?
It is tough to find a way in, but Evil Geniuses are going to have to do just that. The gold now slightly back in the hands of TSM. The game, however, still rests on a knife's edge. Whoever gets the play, whoever gets to take the fight they want are the ones who will be in control. The gold doesn't mean a whole lot. Items are pretty similar. Just about 20 minutes into the game here as the third Drake spawns, the first two in a 1-to-1 count. Maple getting tagged there by the W of the Swain. TSM grouped up the remaining 4 players here on the right side of the pit. EG staying as a 5-man clump around the pixel brush. TSM still going in for the Drake. They're willing to commit a little bit more damage onto this.
Uh-oh, Maple
Not quite
caught
anymore.
out.
Maple could be in a bad spot. He's just getting beat over the head by Inspired.
die.
It's still ticking. Inspired got him. Inspired got Maple right when he needed to.
Trundle ult plus red buff chomps him down, takes out Maple. Couldn't even cleanse it. He was trying to unsealed spellbook to it, but that does not end up removing it anymore. That was one of the changes that they made, that you could not easily get rid of Trundle ult off of you so that people could not just spam QSS against him. And there you see Maple drops down, and that gives the dragon away for free.
And that's a huge play from Inspired. And it's a lot about the setup, because the other EG members, you'll notice, are actually showing. So you see people walking forward from EG, and I think when they get eyes on Danny, and when they actually get eyes on Impact, and they get eyes on JoJo, they're saying, all right, well, Trundle's not looking for a flank angle here. Trundle's with the team, but it is Inspired here on the side, and when you face check that Divine Sunder or Trundle, he is going to make you pay. Trying to cleanse off that Trundle ult, it's not gonna do it. Maple goes down there. Another dragon goes the way of EG, and they win a pivotal fight.
Trundle is such a powerful ball of stats. He steals your damage. He increases his own attack speed. Face checking him is one of the most dangerous things in League of Legends.
Very dangerous. I'll have to have a shout out in Impact, who is wrapping around at the same time. You could feel that EG is very aware of how they need to play these team fights out. They had someone marking the Ahri to make sure he, Maple couldn't do what he did at the Rift Herald fight. They have Impact making sure he's not just going fighting front to back. They're aware. It is going to be difficult still. We talk about the breathing room that TSM had. Yeah, they lost that dragon. It sucks that they gave up the kill. They're in no means out of the game yet. That was not some back-breaking fight. They're still in a totally fine position to try and keep scaling up here. Masterwork items finally turning online now as Solo gets above 13.
And I love the Chemtech Putrefier rush here for Chime, because you can AoE apply it with your E, with the shields. So he's the one who's actually going to be going for that healing debuff. They absolutely needed it. Spica also has an Executioner's in there as well, but this way Tactile doesn't have to actually make a pit stop.
I like that adaptation here, because there's not a super fed member of his team. Last time, Spica and Maple were so fed, he was like, I'm the role player right now, guys. I'm just building heal cut for you. But here, there's going to be more pressure on him to carry. Ahri is not the same late game threat that Azir is. Tactical will be that 400 farm Sivir who's supposed to be 1v9 in these fights, and not stopping down, getting to that IE as fast as you can is huge.
Where's our next fight going to be, boys? You think it's just Drake 3 minutes from now?
Yes, sir.
I think so. I mean, I just don't think that EG has the playmaking to really find picks unless someone really overextends. And it's kind of somewhat similar on the TSM side, right? They do have the Ornn ult, but unless someone's way out on the map or someone really out of position, it's difficult to actually make that much happen. And EG does want to keep pushing the pace of the game. So they're going to be at the Dragon for sure. And it's just, is TSM gonna really look to scrap? And I think they will. They're gonna be feeling pretty confident, I think, about their position in the game.
Maple retreating as Inspired makes his way back up towards that top side. I mean, one of the things that really just tells me a lot about the current state of this game, both teams have mostly defensive wards. EG's wards are all in their own blue side jungle. TSM's wards in the river, but still near the entrance to their own red side jungle. Nobody is far ahead enough that they're willing to push up and get deeper vision. It's much more of a wait and see who's going to screw up.
Yeah, obviously we talk about the threat that EG has, but TSM's pick is no joke either. If you end up too far ahead of your team, obviously Maple and Spica are going to be able to combo together, and so I can understand EG being a little risk averse here, but they are the ones who we're talking about need to find a way to kind of disrupt the current flow of the game, most likely.
I also gotta say, I actually really like Maple's build in this game. It's not the 100-0 Ludens, Spellfem boots, etc. But there's a lot of tanky members on the other side, or at least not one-shottable members. So he's going for a high DPS build with Shadowflame and the Leandries. So it's high CDR, lots of damage in these extended fights where you're going to be popping the Swain ult, then kiting back, and really just trying to look to maximize damage.
There's 1 out of 5 members on EG's team who you can realistically 100-0 if you went for the pen build. It's Danny. And again, with Vulcan there and all the meatballs surrounding the Seraphine, realistically in team fights, you're never going to be on top of her. So this just helps burn down the front line with Tactical. Very smart build out of Maple this time.
Chempunk Chainsword completed for Spica as well. So more of that powerful healing reduction for whoever he turns his aggro towards. 45 seconds until our 4th Drake of the game spawns. It was the pick onto Maple from Inspired that netted EG the last one. Can they find something similar here this time?
They're probably going to need to. I mean, Tactical now has his Ornn upgraded item. Yes, EG, won the last fight. Yes, they have an additional dragon. They're the only ones with kills, but Ornn items are coming through here. TSM they're feeling good about their spot. Threatening a start here on Baron won't do it with the spot on them, but I mean, they can definitely look for aggressive plays of their own.
Yeah, I really hope TSM does contest this Dragon, because while the Dragon itself is not super important, getting to that soul point, it is going to be a Cloud Soul again, but you don't want to be in the position where EG can just flip the last one for soul point. You want to start contesting now, because realistically, you're at the point in the game where you are strong enough to fight them. You haven't fully outscaled, but you don't want to give them too much leeway in this game.
And we can see based on the positioning, TSM very clearly do want to scrap for this.
Yeah.
Neither team really has much vision established. I mean, TSM is first in the river, but they have no wards down. EG are walking in, Inspired clearly trying to mark those angles, make sure that Maple isn't coming for him. Impact has to pay some respect, though, to the fact that Maple and Solo are both there, but both teams looking towards the Dragon.
Impact goes over the wall there with the blast cone. No ultimate used from JoJo just yet. That Swain ulti is a huge factor in any fight. TSM wants to disengage from it. EG wants to use it. 6,000 HP left on the Cloud Drake. TSM putting more damage into it. There comes the Ornn ult. TSM. Oh, they didn't get the R2. They didn't get it.
It was the never move there from Swain. He rooted him up so he couldn't actually get it, and then by the time he was out of the CC, it was too little too late. So there's a clutch root there from JoJo, denying the ulti coming through from Solo, but not the time that you want to have to pause here.
No.
Such a critical moment. The Dragon down to 2,500 HP. Solo having already expended his ulti, but all ultimates available are on the EG side.
And there is a charm in the air currently flying towards JoJo.
I think it's out of range.
Well, we'll find out soon.
We will find out whenever we
That's
get
either
back
going to
there.
doink him in the head, and he'll be in a lot of trouble, because we are talking about how they popped the stopwatch last time. There's no other defensive abilities. He does have flash up, so I guess you have time to try and do the math, do the trig, see if it's going to hit you.
Here we go. Drake's got 1,500. TSM getting themselves zoned away. Drake secured. Evil Geniuses move to Soul Point.
Charm comes up short. JoJo pops his ult, runs forward at the same time as the Renata Berserk comes through, but just without the Ornn ultimate available to really stop them from getting in, EG burst down that Dragon and critically put themselves at soul point.
You know, I'm actually really interested. The fact that it's a Cloud Soul again, are they willing to just give it up? Right? Because we saw TSM do that last time, but I think it's really strong for Swain and for Aatrox and even for Trundle.
Swain, Aatrox, Trundle. Remember the fact that even the Tom Kench, he gobbles you up and then he sprints. Oh no, I did something bad. I've got to get to the bathroom.
Yeah.
And that's what Cloud Soul is for Vulcan's Tom Kench. It's so good on so many of these champions.
I mean, everyone's seen the Swain death ball where you eat an ulted Swain and just run at them and they can't do anything about it. If he ever gets low, you get spit back out on almost full health with a massive shield. There's some pretty cute interactions there.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's going to be, a bit of a concern here, I think, for TSM, if that Cloud Soul does go over, because it's going to give JoJo so much of an easier time of actually sticking in there and not having his ultimate kited out. I talked about the interaction where he pops his ult, Sivir's going to respond with her ult, and they're going to try to back it up, stay out of range of that ulti, but now they're looking for the pick here on JoJo.
JoJo has very, very low mana to work with. He had to flash out defensively. He popped the ult anyway. Impact's in the middle of everybody, and TSM's just going to destroy him.
That is a huge pick. They're going to go for Baron. There's no Swain ulti. There's no TP on Impact. He's dead. They should for sure go for this. There's no damage on the EG side.
This could be the moment where TSM takes over in the 5th and final game of the series. EG will try to stop them. A little bit of Seraphine damage into the pit. JoJo's made his way back in now as well. Solo's here on the front, soaking up the damage. Vulcan's going to be eating some Ahri skill shots. Spica's in the front. Berserk lands onto 2. Danny with a flash away, but he's still in a lot of trouble. Danny is down. TSM looks for more and finds it.
TSM get the turn, and they're just going to go right back to the Baron again. Impact, sure, he's up in 10, but he has no TP. TSM going to be in full control here. EG, it's panic time. They've got to stop this. There is a flash on Inspired. Can he find a miracle play?
I don't think it's not looking that way. He's not even going close. It's Baron. It's a 3,000 gold lead. It's TSM.
And Jojo Pune in the top side, getting charmed up by Maple is what started that whole sequence. It baited Impact into TPing in to try and save him. It left him on an island because more members of TSM were there. And after they get that kill into Impact, they rush this Baron down because that is, like you were saying, one of the only threats that they have to deal with. There's no Aatrox go flying in here, and they can just charge forward onto Danny once he gets hit by that Berserk.
I mean, there's just no damage. There's none at all, right? Like, what are you afraid of with a Swain who has no ulti, and with just Danny really as the only real damage there? So it's such a problem with this composition that you're so heavily ult reliant, and that TSM have such good ways to actually kite out and disengage from those ultimates. And now Tactical has the IE completed. We are potentially minutes away from seeing the first seed here knocked out by number 7 TSM. The defending champions, EG, must find a miracle to really claw back into this game, it feels like.
If TSM can close this one out, it'll probably be the greatest upset in LCS playoffs history. There has never been a time where the 1 seed got knocked out by the 7 seed. And just the actual expectations of this matchup as well. EG, the favorites ever since summer started. They ended the regular season just as hot as they started it, and something in playoffs has gone horribly wrong for them. The 3-1 at the hands of Cloud9 to drop to the losers bracket, and now to be pushed to Game 5 by TSM here.
Evil Geniuses are going to have to find something incredible here in this Game 5, because TSM, wearing purple, 3,000 gold lead, they're the ones that don't have the just ult-reliant comp. They're the ones who have a Sivir on a 3-item power spike with an Ornn enchantment. They're the ones who should be able to take over.
Absolutely, they're looking so damn good at this point. 3rd item through there for Maple. The gold lead will extend. TSM gonna take this tier 2 tower here uncontested. EG stepping up, but there's just not much of a threat. There's nothing to worry about behind that Trundle pillar. I mean, it gets dropped down, you know nothing else is gonna happen.
This is one of those short-range composition problems. When you fall behind, you don't really have a way to stop the Baroned up siege push. Like you said, you drop the pillar, people just walk away from it. There's no other threat.
Yeah.
TSM have done such a good job over the course of the series to put themselves in these winning positions with these scaling drafts. Solo coming in late towards the end of the season, giving another assist to a team, maybe helping carry them all the way to Worlds, being this incredible weak side tank playing top laner. Tactical subbing back in playoffs to become such a late game bomb threat on the Sivir. The story for this TSM team is incredible.
And now it's up to EG trying to get Soul here. They spot that the Dragon is just gonna get rushed down. I don't think Inspire can get there in time.
He'll try to walk up and do it, but he's thrown up into the air. He dodges away from the second part of the Ornn ulti, but where's the damage? Where are they at? Solo's gonna soak it forever. He's still not even dead. They've got him very low finally. Can they finish the kill? Solo will be shut down, and Evil Geniuses continue the chase. Jojo with a flash over the wall. He hits the never move. TSM collapses, and Evil Geniuses get 3.
EG come up huge. They're chasing in for more, but they don't have the waves. They can't get that much. It is just the kills. But it does close the gold lead somewhat as Tactical goes down and critically spent his summoners as well. Huge play from Jojo.
Absolutely huge double never move. Like you said, they're not able to get too much off of this. The mid lane turret, they're going to be able to get 1, maybe 2. We'll see how far they want to go. Jojo TP'd up to the top side at the same time, just doing whatever they can to stuff their pockets with as much gold as possible so they can contest the next major neutral objective.
And that's why they just all in on that play. They know they needed to find something. And when they have Solo sectioned off, as soon as the front line collapses, it gets so much harder for TSM as everyone can pile in. And you can see in this specific fight, they couldn't actually disengage from Jojo. He was able to keep his ulti up the entire time.
Yeah, the fact that Solo, what he did here was nice overall, putting Inspired into stasis right away, but the Renata ult basically gets sidestepped. The charm still hits Maple, makes him sprint back in there, and the entire time, Impact is playing footsies with Tactical, the core DPS member for TSM, like we were talking about. If he ever tried to walk forward, then Impact commits to the flank, and so that was a really heads-up play to buy space for Jojo and the rest of EG to just charge forward.
And it was actually such a big deal because he was on Ghost. It was a Ghost spellbook there from Jojo, which is such a powerful summoner there for the Swain, but it means it's not going to be available again. Jojo flashing in, finding that double never move, getting the kill onto Tactical. You can look at the damage done there. It was all up to Jojo, and he made it happen. But now it's EG again you know, sitting back here, trying to find some sort of a setup, trying to find some sort of a way into this game. 55 seconds on the Baron, and 3 minutes until they have another shot at Soul.
1,000 gold difference. Tactical, he's rooted up. Tactical is down. EG picks the AD carry.
They get him again. They punish the missing flash there. The pillar locks him in. It looked like Nevermove, or perhaps it was Danny's route coming through to lock him up.
We were talking about the Trundle pillar being the only real form of engage, but when you don't have flash available, there's not that many peeling tools to save a Sivir. And so the fact that they could get that chain CC combo down gets that kill. 20 seconds on Baron.
That's the important part. The Baron wasn't up. Both the victory in the Dragon fight as well as that pick onto Tactical don't have major rewards for EG on the map.
Unless EG can start it on spawn, and I think that may be the angle they're looking for to try to force TSM and look for a potential turn here. Solo is pretty far up. He gets caught by the root.
He's caught by the Nevermove. Now they're going to pour some more damage into him, but can they get the kill here? They got to chase this guy forever, and there's just no damage.
He's so tanky. I like the idea of thinking maybe if we kill Solo, it's an easier Baron, but instead, they're not able to go onto the Baron right away like we were saying they might consider, and so that will buy time for Tactical to get back onto the map.
But now they're after Solo again, and again. He will get away, but it cost his flash.
Yeah, this time they get the summoner. That's the big difference here. EG just right back to it. Look at this. If we can get a vision toggle, there's no vision in this area whatsoever for TSM. They do have one ward that could barely spot the entrance of the pit, but this line right here, if you hug that wall, they wouldn't see it. So you can tell that TSM is a little bit nervous, and that's why they're trying to push this wave out. We don't know. Is EG laying in wait here?
Solo's Warmog's doing a lot of heavy lifting for him, keeping him back at full HP without having to return to the base. Maple is going to see him over the wall, but Nevermove found him. Maple with a flash away. Impact here on the flank, ready to go. The Ornhorn sounds off. Impact is the target, and Tactical's got the auto attacks, but they won't finish him off. TSM look for more, but they won't find Wind Becomes Lightning. EG with the full disengage.
And now does TSM try to look to reclaim vision around the Baron here? Impact pushback. He does have TP, but without ult, Aatrox is not that threatening in these fights. You can see a lot of critical items have come through. LDR is done there for Tactical. Death Cap is in for Danny. The pressure in this game is immense for both of these teams. Who is going to come up when it really matters most?
The only ultimates down for EG are Impact and Inspire, not the biggest game-changing ultimates, whereas on the flip side, it's Ornn, Sivir, and Renata, the biggest team fight ultimates you could argue available for TSM, so they want to force onto the Baron.
And it's double GA available for EG. They're at a really strong point. They're looking for Tactical.
Tactical walks in, but he's got the spell shield in time. He'll get away from the Nevermove. EG immediately peeling back towards mid, towards their control wards. And now the Soul is about to spawn. It'll be Evil Geniuses in the bottom side river first.
But TSM has control of mid. Will they actually push this out? And EG can't really burst it down. The Nevermove lands, and they are going to avoid that ulti, and the Ahri ulti is spent.
R2 doesn't do anything from Solo, and that should be really big. Spica goes in, and now they're ready to fight. Jojo already in the middle of everybody. Solo's going to be taking some damage, but Jojo might just die. The stasis keeps him alive. Now you've got Inspired here on the front line. Solo's still staying alive in the back. Danny's not able to get involved. Inspired is low, but he is not dead. He'll be healed up yet again. Spica wants to get away. The Nevermove won't find him, and Impact will. A killing spree.
And EG are looking for the chase here. Danny has healed them back up. They want more. They want a Baron potentially. The flash chain.
He got the flash chain, but Tactical got the flash out. TSM escaped.
All right, so TSM have enough threat on Baron that EG have to commit some members to make sure they don't do it. Even though Spica's dead, they could just try and rush it and flip it. In the same time, Inspire...
They're not taking Soul.
I thought Inspire was just going to solo the Soul in point.
They're flipping it for the Baron. They're just going straight for the Baron. I can't believe they didn't leave someone to actually just take that Soul. It was guaranteed. But EG say, no jungler here. We take the Baron, then we get the Soul. But you can see Solo on the other side has gone straight for the Dragon, trying to deny that. Is this the right choice? Because this really all ends on the next couple minutes here for EG.
Jojo spotted it out with a W. They know that Solo's trying to take it. He's probably the worst member. The rest of TSM is showing up now to stop them from doing that.
They're TP for it. They're trying to stop it.
Go. EG wants to fight him for it. Jojo's already turned on the sway. He stole it! Jojo Pune steals Cloud Soul.
Jojo is refusing to go home. He is taking over this game on the Swain. Flashes in, gets the Soul. EG are charging down mid.
EG, we said they had to find a way. We said it was going to be so damn difficult, but it's happening so far. It's still not there. They've still got to seal the deal, but an absolutely incredible turn of events.
We had questions about JoJo Swain at the start of the game. 1-0-5, monstrous team fight after monstrous team fight out of him. Then never moves to stop Orin ultimates, to find engages onto critical members. He has been so good for them. And out of nowhere, a TP into a soul flash forward Q.
He has smite. He has smite. He flash smote it with the spellbook smite there. Pops the ulti, gets in. There was no jungler there for TSM. Spellbook's last second over, immediately to the smite, pops the W, scouts the health himself. This is the alley-oop off the backboard, the self setup there. Oh my god, he scouts it out, he smites it away. What a play.
JoJo Pune, like you said, refusing to lose, doing everything himself. He's jungling, he's setting up plays for himself. This is such an incredible performance. When we thought TSM had gotten control of this game, JoJo Pune has wrested it back.
Well, let's see what they can do now, because they have to face the TSM base walls and base defense. EG on a 4-1 split. 1.5 minutes remaining on the Baron buff.
Look at Impact
putting work in on the tier 3 in mid, while the rest of EG just try to continue the pressure here in bottom. It's difficult to engage on Seraphine and Swain.
Yeah, but Danny is running low on mana here. He's already been chunked down to half. He's having to spend a lot of mana to keep this up. And if he gets low, it is getting very dangerous. Tactical just kind of ricocheting through the minion wave onto this backline is really, really strong at this point. But Danny actually has a red buff, so he's going to regen right back up here. And it's going to be on this next wave. But unfortunately for EG, it's not synced. And that's why they're not hitting here. They're trying to sync the waves up. But they're potentially looking to threaten them off the tower.
All right, they step up. A lot of damage under the turret there. Seraphine's notes hitting it extra hard, and it buys Impact the moment that he needs to get the minion wave up and take out the tier 3 in mid. Tier 3 in bottom still standing, but EG still applying pressure. Baron alive for another 30 seconds. They've got this wave bottom and one more wave mid, maybe, to use with this buff.
He's keeping the pressure up here. Impact might be able to grab the inhibitor on his own as they're trying once again to sync the waves here. And critically, Danny has his flash up. There was a window he didn't. He had a monstrous sidestep on a Berserk and Charm to stay alive. Here they go.
All right, there comes the Renata ulti. Inspired's here on the front, but JoJo's ready to go in now too. Tier 3 turret still standing. They got to get that one out of the way. And Inspired takes a bite. Now, do they want to go any further? TSM looking to go right back in. Solo's ready to use the ulti. The Ornhorn finds 3, but Maple's got to be careful. Impact on the flank. Maple is down. EG gets 1, and they're not done yet. Solo's stuck on the front line. Charmed up. Beaten down. Solo tries to escape, but EG ain't done. They're going into the Nexus turrets. They don't want to give him the bailout, and they won't. JoJo gets another.
JoJo has been so on point with these never moves. They kite out the ulti, and TSM looks for the re-engage, but it's a route onto Maple that spells his demise. Mid lane and hip will fall.
Danny has no mana or TP, gets back to base, gonna TP back in right here as well as Impact.
They've got the time. They've got the time. It's 25 seconds on Maple. EG want to win the series. It's got to be an insane defense from TSM. Nexus turret number 1 is down. Spica's into the Guardian Angel. Tactical is gone. Chime is gone. TSM is gone. Evil geniuses rise to the occasion in Game 5 and continue their dreams of going to Worlds.
Against all odds, Evil Geniuses claw their way back in a crazy series. 2-hour pause in the middle of it be damned. They stay level-headed, claw back, they get the win. Stay alive for that loser's bracket run to Worlds.
What a crazy Game 5.